Hello world, my name is Mohit Deshpande, and thanks for taking my Android M app development course brought to you by Zenva. So this is the objective that we hope that all of you will learn by the end of the course, and that's to learn the Java programming language as well as how to build Android apps with the new Android M. Now, when I say learn the Java programming language, I mean that we're going to gain a pretty good understanding of the Java programming language, and of course build Android apps with Google's brand new design guidelines called Material Design. We'll talk about that pretty early on in the course. So a couple of the requirements that you'll need for this course, you don't need any particular kind of computer. You can run this on Windows or Linux or Mac OS X. I'm currently running a Mac OS X Yosemite build, but I will demonstrate how, because there's some subtle differences between running things on Mac OS X as opposed to Windows. So I'll, particularly with this first item, the Java Development Kit, and the second item, Eclipse IDE, there's a little bit of nuances that you have to do a little bit more in Windows than you do in Mac OS, but I'll be sure to cover that. And really, all of these, I'm going to show you how to install them and how to make sure they work. And when we get to the point, if you have any questions or if there's some weird error that's coming up, I mean, I've been using Eclipse for years, so I'm pretty familiar with all the errors that could possibly occur with Eclipse, but every once in a while you get surprised. Just feel free to leave something in the comments section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And then I'll teach you how to install Android Studio finally. And Android Studio was released about a year ago, I think, in a release candidate stage, and it's what we'll use to build Android apps from now on. Previously, what you had to do was install the Android development tools in Eclipse, but then that sort of became a pain. So Android Studio was developed, and I'll teach you how to install that. And it's really easy. Android Studio is really awesome because it's really easy to install. So I'm gonna split this course up into three sort of major sections, and the first section is going to be Java, where we're going to learn the Java programming language, so pretty the basics starting from things like hello world and variable types, and then we'll sort of move on to the slightly more advanced things like control flow, and then eventually get to things like classes and objects and inheritance and interfaces and all those object-oriented things, and we're going to go through it. Android M, I'll talk about some of the basic UI elements, and we're going to go through it it's going to advance in the sense that we're going to first do a hello world, then we'll do a little bit more complicated hello world, then even more complicated, then it's just going to build in levels of complexity, but this is all done through examples. So we have several different examples, and it's not going to be sitting through a ton of lecture slides, and I'll just be, putting slides up, and it's really going to be taught through everything here. Java will be taught through, instead of learning about variables through slides, we're actually going to open up Eclipse and type in variables and type in Java code so that we know what it does and we gain experience in typing Java code. And a little side note is with Android M, we will be covering material design, I think right after the second app example that we build. So we try to teach material design up close and up front so that we can use it later on. And that's sort of becoming the standard, and users are getting more and more accustomed to having that material design. So it's good to have in your apps. Then finally, we'll talk about wearables, and by wearables, I specifically mean watches. So right now I have on my wrist is a Moto 360. So we'll teach you how some of the good practices of that you're designing for a small screen. So you don't want to push a ton of information, but you just want to push information that is relevant. So who is this guy you're sitting listening? Like I said, my name is Mohit Deshpande. I'm a professional software developer. I have, more than 5 years of experience in mobile apps in both Android and iOS. And I'm already the author of several other app development courses, iOS 7, iOS 8. I have a really old Android course that runs maybe 4.0, I think. But this is supposed to be the brand new Android M right after Android Lollipop. And of course, all of this knowledge is brought to you by Zenva. I have their website, their Twitter, Facebook handles, and they have a really good game dev academy. And Pablo over at Zenva, he's also the author of a ton of other courses, but we've been really working together for the past a few years to bring students high quality courses that they can learn material from and go and build their own apps to publish on the marketplace. So, without further ado and without me rambling on, let's get started.